Koine, φίλε, and welcome. Today we are going to be taking a look at John chapter 1 verses 18 through 19, finishing off this page. Here is a rubric, everything we're looking for as we go through the text. Well, let's get started. Pentegar andras eskes, kai nun hon ekes, uk esten su aner. Tuto alethes eirekas. Lege autoi hegune, kurie, theoro hoti prophetes eisu. There we have it. Here we have the continuation of what Jesus is saying. So we see gar. This is going to be telling us the result, and explaining more what the previous clause was. And our verb is eskes right there. So we have epsilon sigma for a second person singular. And this is from echo, but this is the aorist stem esco. It's echo, exo, or is it hexo? I think it's hexo because exo means outside. So yeah, it's got to be the aspiration for the future. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, this is aorist tense. It is active, and it is indicative. And pente and andres, alpha sigma right there is our accusative, plural of the third declension, and it's of course masculine. Pente does not decline, but it's clear that it is going with the plural men. For you have, so this is going to be past action with present effect, had 5 husbands, and nun, now, hon from hos, he, ho, is our relative pronoun. And so that is with the nu, our masculine singular accusative. If it were neuter, there would be no, nu. And who. It just doesn't look right in English. But it's the degradation of our language that has brought us to that point. Okay. A case, so epsilon iota sigma right there is our normal second person singular off of the present stem. Of course, active and indicative. You have, and now whom you have, uk esten su aner, esten right there with the movable nu, is a third person singular present tense of me. It's active as well and indicative. Negative, this is the possessive that we've already seen before. Aner here is just the nominative singular form of that third declension noun. You have is not your husband. So, quick pause right there. What we can definitely read from this is that she did go through the legal marriage ceremony with all 5 of these guys. As Jesus calls them rightly her husbands, even though, yeah, I know this word can be man, but in this case the context is clear, it's husband. But this other man, she's cohabiting with him, and that's, back then that would have been extremely inappropriate. Marrying 5 men would have been appropriate enough, but this is that much worse. So we know 5 technically legal marriages. We don't know what happened to these men. And then we don't know why she didn't marry this man. We're given basically no information about that. But that's just clearing up that for us. Moving on. Tuto, here we have the omicron ending. So this is going to be with our verb right there, an accusative, singular, and neuter. Get to that in a moment. But eirekas, alpha sigma right there. This is from lego ero epon, and then eireka, no, not eirekas, that's second. Eireka, there we go. Ugh. This is with kappa, our second person singular perfect verb of speaking. It is active and indicative. And now we can take a look at alethes. So epsilon sigma, normally I would want to take that as a nominative singular neuter form, because it's alethes, alethes for the adjective. And of course, as a neuter form, epsilon sigma can also be the accusative singular, so it would match that. However, this apparently is also sometimes what the adverb looks like. So alethes can either be modifying our verb, or it can be modifying this demonstrative. So we need to try it out both ways. I'm going to try it out as the adjective modifying this first. So you have said this truth. No, because then that would make this the noun. You have said this true thing. Or truly you have said this. And I don't know which one makes more sense. I don't know which one fits the better context. So what I'm going to do here is this time I'm going to turn to Jerome and ask Jerome, well, what did you take this as? So we haven't done I haven't done at least the Latin yet. So as we take a look at this, quick scanning, where are we? Okay, here we go. Tuus vir, because it's at the end, at the very end of verse 18. So very end of verse 18, we have vere. Hoc vere, in order for vere to modify hoc, which is the equivalent of tuto, it would have to be verum, which it is clearly not. So Jerome, or whoever was in charge of translating this specific part of the New Testament, clearly took that as an adverb. So then I'm going to side with him. I think that makes, well, he's the authority. All right, adverb. You have said this truly. Period. Okay, Lege tells us that this ends his direct discourse. No need to parse, no need to parse. The woman says to him, Kyrie. Short epsilon right there tells us this is vocative singular masculine. Lord. And this could be, again, like the last time we saw it, it could be a reference to Adonai as in the Tetragrammaton, as in God, or it could just be Kyrie, the way that you would use it towards a Roman official, maybe, just as someone of high standing. Theoro, that omega right there, this is theoreo, I think it is. So this is a first person singular of the present stem. It is active and it is indicative. And it means I perceive, I observe, or, very interesting here, I consult an oracle. Now, I don't think that's what's going on in this instance, but it's a very interesting thought that this is the word specifically used to consult oracles. And she's using it right here, and then she's saying, Hoti prophetes esu. It's very, very interesting. So, I perceive, I think, is what I'm going to do. Hoti, that. Prophetes a here is our verb. The reason we know it is not if is because of the circumflex accent right there. So that is a second person singular, present, active, indicative. Su is of course nominative singular. And then prophetes is one of our small number of masculine first declension nouns, prophetes, prophetu, prophete, prophetain, so on and so forth. This is nominative singular masculine, that prophet you are. But in English we would say you are prophet. Period. And then we don't know if her text ends there, so I'm going to leave it at that. Let's take a look at this in its own context before going back through verse 7. For you have had 5 husbands, and now whom you have is not your husband. You have said this truly. The woman says to him, Lord, I perceive that you are a prophet. And actually, before we continue, she's suddenly entered the present tense. Previous to this, she's been in the past tense. Very, very strange. But verse 7. A woman comes from the Samaria to draw water. Jesus says to her, Give to me to drink, for his disciples had gone into the city in order to buy victuals. She says therefore to him, the woman, the Samaritan woman, How do you, being a Jew, ask from me to drink, although I am a Samaritan woman? For Jews do not have dealings with Samaritans. Jesus answered and said to her, If you had known the gift of the God, and who it is, the one saying to you, Give to me to drink, you would demand him, and he would give to you living water. The woman says to him, Lord, you do not indeed have a bucket, and the well is deep. From where, therefore, do you have the water, the living water? Surely you are not greater than our father Jacob, who gave to us the well, and he drank from it, and his sons, and his domesticated animals. Jesus answered and said to her, Everyone who drinks from this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks from the water which I myself will give to him will indeed not thirst forever. But the water which I will give to him will be in him spring of springing water for life eternal. The woman says to him, Lord, give this water to me in order that I may not thirst and not pass through hither to draw. He says to her, Go call your man, your husband, and come back here. The woman replied and said to him, I do not have husband. Jesus says to her, You said well that I do not have husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and now whom you have is not your husband. You have said this truly. The woman says to him, Lord, I perceive that you are a prophet. Now, going through that again, I was paying a little bit more attention to the verbs, and it's pretty clear that John here is just switching back and forth between the aorist tense and the present tense, between the forms of lego and the forms of apokrythe. So, yeah, I guess there's nothing really to it. Our change to present here is just appears to be style. Oh well, thank you very much for joining me. I hope taking a look at this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you have a very good day. Farewell.
What? You're still awake? Why are you still here then? You should be reading a book. Or if not reading, you should watch one of these other videos. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. See you next week.